Mike, now you're asking me to give away trade secrets. You're thinking I'm going away. I'm planning to be back. I'm planning to be back doing battle. I'm not going to give away my trade secrets. Well, let's look at the deeper. I mean, what do I do a little different? Well, frankly, I'm older. I've been doing this longer, and because I'm old and I have a lot of experience and I've had a lot of luck. And just from simply the fact that I started literally when I was 6 months old, when my dad was running for the legislature, and Mom and Dad put a sign that said "Vote for Pop" on my diapers, and they used me as a political gimmick. And that's a true story. From then, I've been in it my whole life, and so you learn a lot. And even if you're not that smart, you pick up some tricks. So that's probably got a lot to do with it. But I am passionate about it. I work hard at it, and working hard and attitude really does make a difference in running campaigns. Another thing that's really nice is if you really think you got the best candidate. And when I say the best candidate, I'm a Republican, but I'm more of a bipartisan Republican these days. I've helped many good Democrats, many Republicans, many independents, and I'm just not locked into any one thing. And I discovered, it's not so much about philosophy to me, and it's not about how smart they are. It's not about what they say they will do, because frankly, it's very difficult to tell what a candidate will do once they get in office. My experience has been that most any candidate will say almost anything to get into office. And my experience also is that it's very difficult to cut through the clutter, particularly with the new media that exists and the changes in media. It's very difficult to know what someone really stands for and why you voted for it. And so, some years ago, I started looking the best place I could find to decide whether this is candidate for me. I didn't look here, I looked here. And if you can determine what's in somebody's heart, that gives you a leg up. And when you got someone who really believes in something and they're really running for a good reason, you got a leg up. Doesn't mean you're always going to win, because the best guy doesn't always win. It happens a lot of times that despite our best efforts, you can't pull it off. But we've had more than our share of successes, and our over the years, our track record has been good. I've lost plenty of races, and I've learned something every time. And I can't really tell you specifically. I do know that every time I lose a race, particularly one that I wanted to win and thought I could win and should have won, I go back and try to analyze and say what went wrong, what else could we have done. I'm doing that right now because we're aggressively gearing up for the November 4th elections on a local level. I'm not involved in the state, in the presidential, but a lot of state races. And we're taking lessons that we learned from June and applying them, particularly the old-style grassroots person-to-person campaign that has been lost a lot by media. We're rebuilding it in some instances, that kind of thing.
What wisdom can you impart to someone just getting started in the political consulting business?
What wisdom? Interestingly, I spoke to a class, a friend of mine up in Wofford Monday night, and it was a political science class, and I started off the way I used to start all my seminars. I used to go and do sessions in these political campaign schools and seminars. And I always told the story of my very first campaign school. And this was in 1974. The very first time I went to a campaign school, there were two instructors, and their names were Lee Atwater and Carl Rove. Those were the two instructors. And Lee and I, of course, worked together for many years. Carl, I've maybe seen 5 times since then. I don't really know him. But he was there, and he made an impact. Now, I'll never forget how Carl Rove started that session. He said, before we start, if you want to be, I'm going to give you some advice about politics. He said, if you like sleep, get out of politics. And so since then, I've paraphrased that every time I do one of these, I tell that story, and I said, I want to echo that sentiment, but I want to put a little different twist on it. Here's my advice to you, based on that advice. Whether you like sleep or not, get out of politics. Get a real job. Go do something with yourself. That's a joke. I think it is an honorable profession some days, and I think it's what people think it is some days. It's an emerging profession. Things are changing. Anyone that wants to be in the business should be in the business because they should follow the heart. From my standpoint, I'm very comfortable being in this business because it is my way of contributing. I have a talent that somehow I achieved, and if I use that to elect better people than would have been elected, I'm doing the right thing.
Now, you alluded to earlier on about your father. I think his name was Ryan Shealy, right? And he was a senator from the Irmo area.
He was from Lexington County. He was a House member for 12 years, out of office for a few years while my sister actually was in the House. And then he came back, and I recruited him back into the Senate when I was chairman of the Lexington County Republican Party, and we could not find another soul who would challenge the incumbent because the incumbent had been a multimillionaire and nobody would run. I actually had Dad, I was the filing officer, I had him file a blank filing form because I had two slots I was trying to fill. One was county council and one was senator. And when filing was getting ready to close, a candidate for council walked through the door. So I filled in the Senate on Dad's, and that's how he ran for Senate and started his second career. Turns out that was 1980, the year of the Reagan landslide. We woke up the day after the election in November, and he was a senator for the next 12 years. And we did it with very little money. Got outspent 10 to 1 or something, but it's the right time. But yes, he served in the House and the Senate admirably, honorably, and gave me many valuable lessons, as did my mom. My mom and my dad were certainly my greatest influences in my life, and that's one of the blessings that I've had.